Yo guys, what's going on? It's Lewis here with Crypto Elite. Today's date is Wednesday. It is October 6th. It's around 9:30 or 9:43 Eastern Standard Time, and I have to do a market update because I'm supposed to do one every week, but I'm probably going to start doing two, if not three, and then I'm going to start dedicating at least a couple hours every day to really hone in on the market, because right now what's happening is that the market is so, we could say it's so volatile that it's just continually popping off. Like, things are popping off very quickly, right? So we have a hard time to do the longer term time frames when stuff like this is happening. For instance, when it comes to Bitcoin, when it hits here, and let's say that the first analysis is right here, and we say, okay, we're going to take our profits here, and we take our profits here, and then boom, it shoots up like crazy. That's not necessarily normal, but I want to provide more content, more relative information as soon as things happen. So I'm going to try to give more, not necessarily daily updates, because I really don't want to day trade or get in your head that you should day trade, because most day traders lose money, and I really don't want you to think, oh, you have to day trade to be successful in crypto, when the truth is that the majority of gains happen from longer term trades, longer term holds, and simply just knowing where to go in the particular hype cycle that the cryptocurrencies are in. So I explain about that a lot, and of course I explain about that in my course, and so I want to segue into that, which is that I am updating my course, and while I'm doing that though, I am writing everything down in this Crypto Elite trading book. So I'm going to have everything from like risk management to different indicators that I use, different tips, different tools, and pretty much how I trade, and different things that I've learned along the way that could help you with your trading. And it's not going to be an exact replica of exactly what I do. It's going to teach you what I do, but it's going to also enable you to do things on your own, do things your own way, develop your own systems. And I think that's really important, because not one thing works for everyone. I prefer to have a complete mix of day trades, swing trades, long-term holds, investments, and all of that. But you might want one thing or another thing. And so this trading book will be free every single time I put a chapter out. I will post it all over social media, and of course in my Discord group. So if you're not part of the Discord group, definitely join there. And yeah, that's pretty much that. The next thing that I want to go over are NFTs. NFTs, of course, are absolutely going crazy right now. So just a couple cool ones that I've seen is this one called Mechaverse. I just registered for it, so there's 19 hours and about 13 minutes left before the raffle goes off for this. But this is very, very cool. It is this Gundam style robot things, and it says that they're mechas who need drivers. So it's inspired by the Japan mecha universes. They're all unique, and if you get one, then it's basically like, you're the driver of it. And I don't know, they look really cool to me, and I know a lot of people are super into this stuff. I never watched Gundam, but I always thought that it was cool. I just never got around to watching it, but I know a lot of people do. It's super popular. So I definitely want one of these. You could read this over at themechaverse.com. And this is the first thing that I wanted to go over because I think they look awesome, and this is definitely an NFT that I want. The next thing are these Cyberkongs. Now, so Cyberkongs, these ones, they popped off. These were the originals. Of course, the highest sales for the originals is all the way up to 215 ETH at this point. But there are plenty of ones that are cheaper for the originals, although they're probably still way too expensive, or they are way too expensive for the vast majority of people. However, they did just come out with a new Cyberkong, which is the VX version. So there's the Genesis versions, which popped off, and then there's the baby/incubator ones, which also sort of popped off. And now there's this VX one, which is 3-dimensional, which is pretty sweet. So these 3X ones or 3D ones are down here, and as you can see, the recent sales for these 1.5 ETH was the cheapest one, I think, but there's also 2 ETH, 1.76 ETH. And so these ones, I want to buy one, and I think I might buy one, to be honest. So if we click on here, we could see what the floor price is. Right now, the floor price is 1.95 ETH. So not, I guess, the worst, not the best. It totally depends on basically how much Ethereum you have and what you want to spend it on. But yeah, this community is super, super strong. It seems pretty solid to me. So floor price of 1.95 ETH seems cool. And hopefully you could use these in like a metaverse of some sort. I'm pretty sure that is what I saw. I know Elio Trades likes these, and I know that another really, really big YouTuber loves these. So Cyberkongs is one that I want, and I already showed you the other one that I was getting, so we could get rid of that. And then there are these ones, Samurai Doge. I am not going to buy these, but my partner really loves these. Not my business partner. He really likes these, or he showed me about them, and they seemed very interesting in the fact that you can fight them. You could use them like in a game, I think. So this is maybe one you want to look at. There is one that I do like, which has the Doge in them, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the next one that I want to talk about is also one that my business partner told me about. It's the Wicked Bone Club, and this is pretty sick because there are these guys, right? And it's super low floor price of like 0.67 ETH, right? And maybe if I click on this, it'll bring me to OpenSea. It does. And then I could click on that. And let's see what the floor price for the Wicked Ape Bone Club is 0.492 ETH. And the thing that's cool about this is that if you have one of these, you can mint a Wicked Hound Bone Club. And that's just because every one of these guys like gets a pet of a wicked hound. So that's sort of cool. I am seeing if I could find it. You know, you would think that if you just click on that, should be able to find it. Let me check real quick. All right, so I found the Wicked Hound Bone Club, and this is what they are. It says every Wicked Ape needs a pet. Each Wicked Ape you own entitles you to 1 free mint. Another 1,000 Wicked Hounds are available for purchase. Check OpenSea after minting or purchasing to see your hound. And in OpenSea, the Wicked Ape Bone Club is here, but they have the Wicked Hound Bone Club that is, it has a floor price of 0.1 ETH right now. And I mean, for something that was just like minted out of nowhere just because you got a free, or just because you had the Wicked Ape, that's sort of cool. So there's these ones, and then there's that. The next thing that I want to talk about is Dap Radar. This is pretty cool. It shows you the top basically what do you call it? It's categories, whether it be NFTs, DeFi, games, gambling, or exchanges, by users and volume. So if you go to games, you could click on users, and you could see that Alien Worlds is number 1, Splinterlands is number 2, and Splinterlands is close, very, very close number 2. And this is a game that my business partner has been talking about for a while now, and he's super, super into this, and actually made a ton of money with it. So Splinterlands might be a pretty solid go-to. It's already, I don't want to say like it's already late. It's definitely not early, but it might not be too late to get into Splinterlands, because even though it's has so many users at this point, and it's the number 1 in Hive, number 2 in games, number 3 in general, it's continuing to grow, right? So it just continues to grow. And so if you're looking for a game that is under the radar, not Axie Infinity, not Illuvium, not Star Atlas. Splinterlands is probably like the next one on the list. That's like more underground, I guess you could say, even though it's not like totally underground. It's definitely not talked about like those other ones are. And then of course there's also Alien Worlds, Arc8, Farmers World, and all of these other ones, because of course the gaming sector, if you know me, you know that I think the gaming sector is going to bring crypto mainstream. I think it's amazing. I think it's probably the best, highest alpha plays you could have are in the gaming sectors. But not only does Dap Radar have, the top gamings, but it also has NFTs and like the best collections. So you could see what the best collections are. So there are obviously Axie Infinity, NBA Top Shots, and this is basically a website where you could go to and you could see the different like top things in, oh hey, there's CyberKongs, the top things in the different categories, which I think is pretty cool. So it's another place to research for your research, so that you could find alpha. And then there was also actually one more game, Crypto Blades. I'm not going to talk about this like too much, but Crypto Blades, it's another game that I was told about, and it has some potential. All of these games are on the Binance Smart Chain, so it took me like a long time to even consider them, because I really don't like Binance Smart Chain, but they have been making some money. And so if you want to go into the depths of like the weeds of like the games and the NFTs and stuff like that, Crypto Blades, Splinterlands, these things are definitely stuff to look at. You have to do your own research. I'm not saying get in these, but I'm saying like these are just some options. There's also the other one that I saw, which is I think like Farmers World over here, was on the Wax network. So yeah, there's a lot of different opportunities basically where you go. Personally, for me, the biggest things that I have hands down are Star Atlas and Illuvium. I believe that those two games will outperform almost everything. The more I think about it, the more I think that Star Atlas and Illuvium will generate alpha over everything. Like it's hard to think of other projects other than maybe like Quant Network that will do as well as those games, because if those games take off and they hit the mainstream and people see that, and it will imagine getting millions and millions of people who aren't even into crypto at all into those games. Like that's a possibility for those things, while the other things, you sort of need people that are involved in crypto already, that want to be into crypto already, to boost them up. So that's just my thoughts. I think the gaming sector is big, and Illuvium and Star Atlas are huge portions of my portfolio. So we have that. And with saying all of that, I am pretty sure that we could get into this update now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on my screen. This is going to be TradingView, and I'm just going to place it right here. And then we could start going through the market scan and just seeing where the price is relative to my previous buy zones, and also my previous analysis, and also I can update them. I could update the buy zones, and like I mentioned earlier, things are starting to move really quickly. Like this is Bitcoin, and like I said beforehand, I wanted to get, like last week, I think I wanted to get in down here. In fact, let me go to the daily to make it like easier. I wanted to get in down here, and then it popped up, and I think like right here it was around like 4,500. I was like, I don't think it's going to come down to the 61.8. Like this is where I wanted to get into, but I made my update. I posted it on like Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and my Discord and stuff. I was like, I really don't think it's going to come back down to here. So like that's, I need to update these. I need to update these charts to be like, okay, if it comes back here, then this is what you want to do. I probably did that for Probably did that for one of them. Yeah, okay. I think I did this. Yeah, this is probably what it is. So I did that for that one, and then it came up here, and I said, okay, sell here, and then I was like, okay, the 38.2 is clearly the best place to buy if it's super bullish. It didn't even get like it hit. This is a big resistance. This is a huge resistance, and it didn't even come down to the 38.2. Like that's unexpected. This is not like this goes against technical analysis. Basically, this is something that sometimes technical analysis works, sometimes technical analysis doesn't work, obviously, because if it worked 100% of the time, we'd be trillionaires and we would never work a day in our lives other than just like, making money like this. And then we would just be on an island, on our own island, doing whatever the heck we want. But obviously it doesn't work 100% of the time, and it does stuff like this, which pops off. But this is very, very key. This is actually a very key concept to understand, which is that right around this area right here, or even before that, even like right here, what I just mentioned, before when I thought that it was going to come down to the 61.8 at around 38,500, and then it didn't, and it popped back up. That was a huge, huge, huge indicator. Like, okay, we're freaking bullish now. We are very bullish. So you don't want to short. And I know this probably doesn't apply to a lot of people, but you have to understand the context of the market. What part of the market cycle are we in? Is it more bullish, or does it favor the bearish? And if it favors the bulls and it's more bullish, like it was right when this candle happened, which was a break in the market structure upwards, because obviously lower high, lower high, lower high, and then boom, we had a close above the previous lower high. So it broke this market structure, and the thing became very bullish. Normally when we get that breaker, it comes down to, somewhere like right around here. And I guess you could say that it tapped the area at the very, very, very top of this, but it normally it comes down a little bit lower and then shoots up. It didn't even get there. So because of this, now you think, okay, well, this right here is definitely a sell zone. It's definitely resistance. So I'd want to sell because there's a higher probability of selling, but I definitely am not going to short. And that's key. It's just something key to understand when to long and when to short, when to use leverage, when to not use leverage. There are definitely key times for these particular strategies. And the more you trade, the more you get a feel for the market, the more you can understand, like, okay, I'll sell here, but I'm not going to go short here. Or like I'll go very, very heavy right here because the invalidation is only here, which is not very far away, like after this break. So that really, honestly, that just comes with time. In just looking at the charts. So we're gonna keep on doing that. I mean, that's a big reason why I do this every day, is like, or not every day, but every week, is because it keeps me up to date and keeps me like more sharp of like, oh crap, like this looks very particular. Like we're at resistance, but like I'm going to buy like at the 23.6 instead of the 38.2, something like that, just like to push really forward. So sorry, I sort of went off on a tangent right there. What we're going to do now is we're going to start looking at, the whole market and try to make some sense of what is going on. So this chart right here, this is the total market cap. Previously, we had the weekly highs drawn out. This was the previous weekly high right here, and the weekly close, the highest weekly close that we ever had. And this was the previous high of the monthly close. So if we go to the monthly, we'll start off on the monthly chart. This is the monthly close right here. And hold on a second. This was the monthly close, or this was the monthly close. I don't know why it was like in the middle. It was like right here before, but like, no, it was here. So we have the highest. Yeah, we have the highest monthly close, or actually October's not over yet. It's still October, but so far we are above and going to be closing if it stays above this level, which I'll bring it to this level. This level right here, it's basically to all new time highs in terms of close. Like it's crazy bullish. Like that's super bullish. On the weekly, however, first off, it's only the 6th. It's only 6. So this thing could reverse and go all the way down. We don't know. Yeah, but things are looking pretty solid. However, if say next week we get a close above here, I mean, that's basically going to all new time highs. That would be the highest weekly close we've ever had in terms of the total market cap. So it's really like, where do you go from there? Well, the only thing you go from there is up to this next resistance level, or I suppose this previous all-time high. And yeah, I would probably expect a little bit of a pullback here, to be honest. But if we close like above here, I mean, I'm already bullish. I'm already very bullish. I posted it in my VIP chat. Like, I'm going to be way more risk on now. I sort of went more risk off after we had a huge run up, after we had, from here's where I went in, right? And then I basically got out around here-ish, I want to say. And I've been sort of like risk off since then, because obviously like we had this huge run up. So, but now I'm definitely more risk on, and I'm more in Bitcoin. I'm more heavily in Bitcoin as opposed to USDT, and I'm trying to trade against the Bitcoin pairings. I still have a lot of USD, and I'm trading against USD. But like, if everything's going up, right? Let's say Bitcoin's going up, and Bitcoin's going up very heavily. Then there's no point in being in USDT. Or USD. You want to be in Bitcoin because Bitcoin's going up, and then you want to trade against Bitcoin to see what coin is outperforming Bitcoin, and then you want to get into those, and that's what makes the most sense. The other thing is that September was historically a down month, and of course last month it was the down month, and then October is historically a month for Bitcoin to shoot up, but then November, December, January are usually or historically months for altcoins. So if you see, Bitcoin shooting up, and you see like altcoins like heading down like pretty heavily, like we have ADA like coming down hard. To me, this was a pretty solid entry, but like if it keeps on coming down, you want to grab it, especially if it comes down against like USD. You want to grab it because Bitcoin might go for a huge run up, right? But Bitcoin might run up. Let's say Bitcoin runs up like 50%, and then the money flows from Bitcoin into alts. Well, if you get into alts earlier, before they start to turn around and they start to run up, then you're going to make significantly more gains than if you were to just stay in Bitcoin. That's my strategy. That's what I'm thinking. So that's why I want to have a lot in Bitcoin right now, which is great, but also start converting that to altcoins as the altcoin prices go down, especially as they go down against Bitcoin, so that when they finally do turn around, they have the massive gains, and I could actually be part of that, and I'm not like behind the bell, I'm not behind the curve, and like I'm already in. So what that entails is taking losses is taking unrealized losses for days, if not weeks, as Bitcoin, if Bitcoin continues to go for a tear. And then I just continually add on to my alts, right? That's my personal strategy. Other people want to just go into Bitcoin. Like, other people just go into Bitcoin and that's it. Like, but you could make more money in altcoins. I mean, look at Shiba Inu. Shiba literally did like 70% in like a day, right? So look at this, 250% this week. And Bitcoin, look, and now let's go back to Bitcoin, 250%. It took Bitcoin 70%. Nope. It took Bitcoin like over 100 days to get 250%, right? From here to basically from here to here. From here to here is 126 days, right? And that's 208%. If we get to the very tip, maybe it'll be 233%. That's 126 days. Like I just mentioned, SHIB did that in 1 week. 1 week. And it did more than that. Solana obviously did more than that in way less time. So that's why I'm in alts. That's why I'm like, you know, in half the time, Solana did 2 times the amount. So if you know where to look, you go into alts, right? So I want to be in alts before they start popping off again. And so looking at the total market cap, I mean, I don't know what to say. Look, like normally I feel like there's normally double tops. If there are double tops, it goes like this: up, down, double top, which is slightly lower than this one, which it was, and then down, and that's sort of it. Like that's basically it, you know? But obviously this did not happen. So what happened was obviously it popped back up, and it's already at the level where it was just at. So that's just logically thinking on a most elemental level, that seems very bullish. It's like, okay, so it should have come down. It should have come down to 61.8. Didn't even get to do that. It hit the 50 and reversed. And now it's all the way back to the previous top for the second time, nearly the third time. If you count this, it is the third time if you count the wicks. So things are just looking really good for cryptocurrencies. Not to mention the stock market's going down and crypto is going up. What the heck is happening? You know? So overall, basically what this is saying is like overall, I'm bullish. I'm very bullish. And I want to buy the dips. The dips are for buying, okay? The dips are for buying. And if you want to play it super safe, you buy the Bitcoin dips, and then you convert the Bitcoin into different alts on the Bitcoin to altcoin pairs. So that was total. This is total 2. Total 2, this was the first top. The second top was a close above the first top. And now we're on our way back up. Like pretty much going to close, you know, we had the little rejection right here, and now we're probably going to come back up and get back up here. So I'm bullish. I'm overall very bullish. That's that. Let's look at the Bitcoin market cap. This entire phase was that distribution phase, and then this was the accumulation phase. So this was the distribution by the big guys, by the big players. They distributed, they sold, and then and actually looking at this, it makes perfect sense. I mean, look at this versus like the first one. It's like, okay, but then we had it again, and then by the third time we had this drawdown. Just you should know, like I mean, I'm not saying you, but like I should have known, like, okay, this just looks suspicious, right? Doesn't this just look suspicious? Just the fact that we had this huge run up, and we kept on going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, and we had like 2 weeks here and 1 week here, but then all of a sudden we had 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks of green, and then 2 more weeks, and then 2 more weeks of green, and then like another red candle. Like this just seems sketchy to me. It just seems like, okay, of course they were distributing here. And this right here, this doesn't look as much as an accumulation, but this candle definitely does look like an accumulation, and so does this wick, and this wick as well, and this wick as well. But we got in really early we got in down here, so like I'm happy about that. Anyway, this is the Bitcoin market cap. It's pretty much back to where it was at the tops beforehand in this entire area. Am I looking? I really wouldn't be necessarily looking to sell, or like I'm looking to buy on the dips. So once again, like I wanted to go in here, so now I need to update this. Okay, so I went down into the daily time frame, and I just want this is Bitcoin market cap, and look at this. This is the same exact thing that happened before, where it had a down move and then this upward momentum right here in the market cap. And so this right here is actually this is another concept to think about. Right here, this whole level, right? This whole level is the floor. So floor, spring up, floor, big thing up, floor, big thing up. This is on the daily chart, right? And then we got some closes down here, but ultimately it always moved back up from here. And then we had this mover down. Some people sold this right here. Technically, once we broke down, this was a good sell, so it's like fine. But then we sprung back up. As soon as we sprung back up, that was the buy signal. As soon as this candle right here closed above this candle, that's the buy signal. Because that indicates that this right here was a swing failure pattern, and that is a SPF, swing failure pattern. You'll see that so much. You'll see that a lot in the trading, in trading circles or in the trading Twitter, crypto Twitter, or just like everywhere. And if this happens like all the time. So like as soon if you see the break and then it taps the liquidity for everyone, and then all the big whales buy, and then it shoots back up, you got to be ready. You got to be ready to buy right back in if you sold right here, right? And or if you didn't sell, you got to be ready to buy more right when this happens. And same thing happens for the top. Same thing actually happens for the top. Like this right here, for example, clear resistance, right? And then like it popped up, it got the liquidity for the shorts because like, a brand new coming all the way up to brand new all-time highs, and then it shot all the way back down. So that showed you that it was bearish. So then this would have been a good, so then you want to sell, right? Unless it popped. Well, actually, no, it didn't. That's not the way it goes. You want to sell right here, right? And then you want to put your short positions in, and you want to put your short positions in right underneath of the previous, highs before the swing failure pattern, with the stop either above the top or above the previous highs beforehand. And you could show that by doing this right here and putting in a short position like that. And then you could either put this like here or here, but I would probably do it here as an invalidation. And then this is probably where I would have taken my profits, is like right here. Nice risk to reward ratio regardless. And or you could have got the 61.8, and that would have been pretty solid too. And that makes sense. The 61.8 would have made more sense in this situation. However, I would have got the 61.8 from this low, and that obviously that didn't happen. So this is where I'm counting the 61.8 because this is where it touched, right? And the 38.2 actually touched here as well. So what you could have done, actually, what you really could have done is looked at this, and you could have looked at this from two different perspectives. I would have looked at it like this way: put the top over here, and then I would have lined up where is the 38.2. Well, 38.2 is this area right here. So I would have to find, the lows. And if you go back, you can see there's a low here. You can see there's a low here. You can see a low here. These were the real lows. This right here was the fake out low. So if you go from the real lows, real lows. This is just what I've noticed from charting and doing the Fibonacci. The real lows to the high, then you could see 38.2. And this is before any of this happens, right? This is like, I guess here. This would be, oh, you can't do it on the Bitcoin market cap, but this would be like right here, right? So then you would say, okay, I want to buy in at the 61.8 here, and obviously that would have been perfect. But this is trading, basically trading strategies. So let's say that like this right here, we get this, and then we come up, and then we smack back down. Okay, what do you want to do at that point? Well, you want to place your short position open right here, and then, or you want to place your sell order right here with like a safety order, or excuse me, a stop loss right here, or even right here. And that, I don't know if that's going to happen. It's probably not going to happen, but these are a one way to trade. Moving on to the dominance levels, we can see that Bitcoin has been moving up. Bitcoin has been outperforming the market over the past 2-3 days, and it looks like it's coming into that really, really major 61.8 resistance level for the dominance. And so I plan on going mostly into altcoins at this level. Not only is this the resistance for Bitcoin dominance, but there's the 200-day moving average and the 200-day exponential moving average. And so if we look at the the altcoin dominance levels, it's the inverse of that. You can see the same exact thing. 61.8 is right here, and the moving averages are there as well. So two really, really big supports for the altcoins are coming up. And that sort of goes in line with what I was talking about earlier. I don't like what's going on with the RSI, to be honest. Like it is like a little worrisome. Like this is not good. This makes me, okay, so looking at this, it does make me a little worrisome. Just the fact that it's flat at the bottom under 30. Normally that doesn't really happen. So it is word for some caution for sure. It's definitely word for some caution. I'm trying to look for examples of more of it happening previously. Don't really seeing it flatlining like it is flatlining right now in the past, except for right here. And this was when it flatlined above the 80. So it was overbought, but it continued to go up. Same thing right here is when it was overbought above 80 and it continued to go up. And now it's oversold, but it's continuing to go down. So that's really not good looking for alts. However, things always reverse, things always reverse. So especially if you know what, and if you know what altcoins to look into, and if you know what basically categories to buy, then you should still be good. Because even though altcoin is going down like crazy, altcoin dominance, look at Phantom. Like, look at what Phantom just did, 30%, like look at Sheeb, like insane, right? This is over the same time as altcoin dominance is going down. There are still plenty of coins that are shooting up, right? So, and even FTT, the ones that like haven't shot up like that much, they're still up over the last few days overall. So just because altcoin dominance is just tanking and taking a huge hit doesn't mean that all alts are doomed. And let's see if there's another time when it like tanked that bad. This is one time where it tanked really bad, and you could see it was oversold for a while. But like, this is what I was saying in the beginning. Like, I want to start scaling into alts, like here and here and here and here and here. Like, I just scale more and more and more in, because there's always that, well, not always, but there's usually always that reversal, right? And then they come back way stronger. Once again, not financial advice. This is simply my strategy. But same thing happened over here. Like bottom, like it just kept on bottoming out, and the RSI was under 30 right here, and it stayed under 30, and it's still under 30, and it kept on going. The price kept on going down. So it could remain under 30, but down the line, this is a volatile market and things bounce around. So I don't know. We'll see where we are later. We'll see where we are later, but I'm definitely still more risk on as opposed to risk off. I'm trying to get in on the dips, but at least for Bitcoin, there's not really many dips. Luckily, the bots that I had have been working pretty well, and I will go into more bots later on. But like, I don't know, personally looking at Bitcoin right here, I'm looking at Bitcoin right here. I don't see. Okay, so this is now done. This was the previous 61.8, no longer relevant. This is no longer relevant. This is no longer relevant. This was previous resistance. Now it turned into the support. So if we could get literally any Bitcoin into this level right here, that would be where you would long, just immediately, just like thinking, right? But will it even come down there? Let's say that this was the top. I would want to get in at, I would literally want to get in at like, I don't know, 51,000. Anywhere between 50,000 and 51,000, if this is the top, would be the most ideal place to get in, because like, if we're this bullish, like Bitcoin literally just went up 35% in a week for a Bitcoin. Like, that's nuts. So to me, that's bullish as hell. Indicators are super overbought right now. So I wouldn't buy right now, but if it comes down to 51,000, I got to go in. So moving on to Ethereum, we can look and see that we have this area right here, which is the lowest resistance point. And then we have this area, which is the top of the resistance point right here. Oh, sorry, this is the support point. And then this was the old resistance. And now it looks like this is the support. So this is a trade setup. It is a trade setup to do, where you say you want to get in here, falls below there, it's invalidated. You could target the old highs. I might want to do this. It just seems a little too, I don't know, not clean, but yeah, this is, I mean, technically this is a pretty good trade setup right here. I wouldn't buy it where it's at, simply because the stock RSI is pretty much topping. I mean, it topped last time it topped. It was like topping over here, and then it tanked down. But this was also when the regular RSI was overbought. So the regular RSI has some time to go. I would love to see this pop down a little bit. And if we go into the 4 hour, we need to start going into the lower time frames, because like I said before, things are just moving way too quickly here. This is super interesting. It's like, this was a clear channel, and then on the way down, it was like, okay, it broke this channel and then it popped back up, and then it broke the channel again and popped back up above it, and it broke the channel again and popped back up it, and now it probably trapped a whole bunch of people, and then it broke down, and it's like, okay, well, I guess right here is the clear area to long, so like you want to long here, and then it broke down, popped back up. All right, so this was incredibly hard to trade. I'm glad I didn't really trade this. But like, yeah, this is something that you just like don't want to trade, because then it's like, okay, I guess this finally became the 1, 2. I guess you could have gone right here. But that would have been the fourth tap, and then who knows what would have happened. But regardless, we know what happened now. So looking at what's happening right now, you could say, okay, we had the top right here. We had the run up, came back down into this zone, and now we had another pop off straight from this zone. So the next zone would be somewhere literally right around here. If we take the Fibonacci, let's say you take it from here to here. So the 38.2 is one, but the 61.8 is the other. So yeah, it would be like, this would be where I would want this would be the trade setup that I would take. And then I would probably take profit right around here for a pretty nice 3.41 RR, because if it breaks down below here, that really wouldn't, I don't like, there's not much else like below here except for like this area right here. Of course, I always have my stop loss timeout, so if there's a wick and then it pops back up, I'm not going to get stopped out. I'm not going to get stopped out. But if it falls below, then like, you know, we could see some trickling down to further lower areas. So yeah, I'll probably throw this trade on for Ethereum. Okay, so I actually I was going through some charts, but I think what would be more beneficial is if I just go through the charts that I posted in the VIP and just see, like, are they coming to their buy zones or not? Because a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll create charts and I don't need to change them up because it's what they are. So let's start with Sol. So for Sol, I have I put this here and I said this was the weekly resistance, and I'm going to buy a little bit here and I'm going to buy more here. And then if it comes down here, then I'll buy a lot more, and I'll probably sell on a bounce and look to get in, you know, at 90 and 83 if it comes down there. So all I do is I press the play button. I see like what happened. Well, okay, so it literally, we sold up here at the weekly resistance because you sell at resistance, and then I bought some right here. It did not hit my second buy zone. It came back up, and now it's coming back down to my second buy zone. So I'm going to buy some more when it hits there. And then if it's there, I'll buy it. So Solana still on track, still doing what it's doing. Let me pull up the next one. Next up, we got Algorand. So if I click on that, this pops up and it says that I'm going to buy at 1.55, and I'm also going to buy at this diagonal line. So all you got to do, press the play button. It popped up, but I never updated this. I never said, okay, get in now or anything like that. So I'm going to wait. And if it comes down here, I'm going to buy it. If it comes down here, I'm going to buy more. So let's move on to the next one. So I pulled up Link, still nothing changed. I'm waiting for it to come down to this level. Then I'll probably go in pretty hard. I also have Link against Bitcoin. So I'm waiting, and it has not hit this level yet. So if it hits this level, I'm going to buy a bunch of Link here. We got Uniswap. Gonna buy it right here. It popped up and hasn't really come down, but it's still in between the buy zone and the sell zone. So I don't really want to get it here because this is like no man's land, you know. We also have Uniswap against Bitcoin. So I got a little bit right here, and I'm gonna get a little bit more right here. If it pops down here, I'm gonna get a ton of it though. For DOT, same thing. I want to get it at $22, 21, 22, probably 23. And that is DOT against that. Maybe DOT against Bitcoin might be a little bit different. I don't know. Let me check. It's on its way. It's close. Hasn't hit it yet, but it's on its way. I got Cardano. Cardano still hasn't hit my buy zone yet. I got Doge. Doge still hasn't hit my buy zone yet. And yeah, after looking at all of this, not too much has actually changed. It's a good thing that I went back and was checking, because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for the entries to get hit. So I'm actually going to stop this here. And I'll do another market update in a couple days, just like to, you know, stay on top of the markets and stuff. But the things that have changed is that now Bitcoin, if it comes back down to 51,000, I'm gonna buy it. Ethereum, if Ethereum comes down to I believe it's 3,400, I'm gonna buy it. Yeah, so those are the two things: 3,400 for Ethereum and 51,000 for Bitcoin. And other than that, yeah, I'm gonna end this here. I'm also buying a lot of Illuvium and a lot of Star Atlas for long-term holds, and I'm going to stake them, or stake Illuvium. So those are two other really big things. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.